and welcome to a brand new edition of Real to Real Talk. I am your host, Paul Britton. So excited to have you guys here. Guess what we're doing today? If you're a regular viewer, I let you know last week, but I'm gonna just remind you right now. Streamerpalooza. That's right. I've been doing movies recently that are primarily you know, theatrical releases, and I've let my streaming viewing get a little behind. So we're doing two things. One, we're not getting any further behind, meaning the two major streamer releases from this week. We're knocking those out. And two, we're gonna go back and hit a few of the ones that I really wanted to hit in the past few weeks, but have missed. So that's gonna be really simple. Gonna be very straightforward. Just come along for the ride. It'll be fun. I promise. All right. So the first one we've got up, one of the ones that came out this week is Fair Play, now streaming on Netflix. It is a sex thriller, a workplace sex thriller. That's what we'll call it. This one is a workplace sex thriller. It is coming from a new feature film director, Chloe Domont, who is also the writer. As I mentioned, this is her feature film directorial debut. She's done a lot of television work, but she's still pretty young. And up and coming, and this is her first foray into feature films, and I got to tell you, it's pretty exciting. Not to spoil my thoughts on the movie, but my rating on the movie, but I did like this movie. It's not perfect, okay? So let's dive into it. This movie stars Phoebe Dynevor, and Alden Ehrenreich. Alden Ehrenreich, we would know from the Star Wars story Solo, the Han Solo single or standalone Star Wars movie. And Phoebe, we would know from Bridgerton. Oh, come on. Who hasn't seen Bridgerton? I mean, yeah, so Phoebe just picks up where she was in Bridgerton and is like, you know what? We're going to keep doing some of this. And bam, we get super steamy Fair Play on Netflix. All right. So the movie it follows a couple who both work and met while working at a hedge fund as analysts, and their firm has a rule: you can't date within the firm. They break the rule, get engaged. The setup of the movie is, hey, they're both young and intelligent and ambitious, but he's up and coming in the firm, and she's also, and she's doing well too, but he's kind of the next in line it guy. And things take a turn, and the power dynamic changes, and it gets the movie is just, that's what the movie's about. So the movie is about what could potentially happen to a relationship when the preconceived power dynamic, honestly, from both couples, it is flipped on its head and is disrupted. And what happens when the female, or actually it doesn't really even have to be a female side, but one side, the perceived, sort of lesser or perceived not quite as advanced in their career side of the relationship actually starts to out earn and outperform the prior sort of, well, the prior lead, we'll call it. And let's just say that this movie believes that that's going to end poorly. And that's where the movie goes. I'm not spoiling anything by saying that, by the way. That you kind of, this, if everything went well and he was super supportive, and he just kind of picked up doing more things around the house, I don't know that you're gonna get a movie out of that, although I would love to see that movie because I think that's fair and I think that would be interesting. But um and also nice, this movie's not a nice movie. Not a nice movie. The third act, watching Alden's character just devolve into just chaos, just an absolute agent of chaos. It's difficult. It's difficult to watch. I have a general rule where I don't like to watch movies that are primarily about you know people's whose lives spiral into collapse as a result of drugs. And this movie made me realize it's really just I don't like to watch movies whose of people's whose lives spiral into chaos at their own making through just absolutely terrible, horrible, childish, and obviously bad life choices. So, oh, I gotta mention Eddie Marsan, who, if you know Eddie Marsan, I mean, he's been in just about every other movie that's ever been made. Um, it plays sort of like the billionaire behind the hedge fund. He's fucking awesome in this movie. He's awesome in everything. He's a character actor. As soon as you see him, if you don't know his name, as soon as you see him, you know him. But hey, look, even though the third act made me super duper uncomfortable, I'm going with 3 tacos plus guac on this here at Real to Real. We do a taco rating, not a star rating. And then if we think it's worth it, we'll throw a little bit of guac on the top instead of because you can't just eat half a taco. That's ridiculous and stupid. So we do 3 tacos. I'm going 3 tacos plus guac. It really was a 4 taco movie through the first 2 acts, and then I the third act just was too much for me. It's a personal thing. I don't like watching people like I had to pause the movie literally and like run around the house like screaming like just uncomfortable. All right, the next movie we're doing is called The Burial, and it's this one is streaming on Prime. Now, The Burial comes from a director, Maggie Betts. By the way, 2 female directors in a row. I love it. Thank you. Let's keep that up. Maggie Betts, previously the director of the Novitiate. So, in 2017, this is the first movie she's done since that. I haven't seen the Novitiate, so I can't really say what her movies have been like in the past. But here we are. This movie stars Jamie Foxx and Tommy Lee Jones, and I'm sorry, but yes. Okay, I'm in, sure. But even more so, it's a courtroom drama about and based on a true story about Tommy Lee Jones plays the owner of a funeral chain in southern Mississippi who gets in some tax trouble or insurance trouble, I should say. Um, Tries to sell a few of his homes to a large funeral conglomerate, and they do him dirty, and so he decides to sue, and he brings in Jamie Foxx as his lead lawyer, and it's just, I freaking loved the first like hour of this movie. It just everybody was just going, we're going all in on this, and we're doing everything. And you have to watch this just for the first hour. And here's the thing is, after the first hour, the movie goes into the courtroom, and you could probably just go to Netflix, go to Wikipedia, look up the character that uh, Jamie Foxx plays, Willie Gary, and get an idea of what the result of the lawsuit is, and you could just like write what happens in the during the court case. But everything that leads up to the court case is just perfect and fantastic. It's weird to say that like it's a court movie and the court scenes are the parts that aren't quite, don't hold up for the whole, uh, but it's so good. I really did enjoy this movie. By the way, Alan Ruck pops up. Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and and amen. Jeez, I just want Alan Ruck needs to just pop up in more things. you know, because he's friggin' Alan Ruck and he's Cameron. And when Cameron was in Aegis Land, let my Cameron go. But seriously, this is on Prime. Everybody's a member of Prime. Go check this one out. It's a lot of fun. And it was a surprise. Like, I genuinely thought this was going to just kind of be bland and by the numbers, but man, that first hour is perfection. The courtroom scenes being the sort of like paint by numbers courtroom scenes mean I'm going with Four Tacos. I'd love to add a little bit more. I just can't. But I think Four Tacos is a really solid rating. Jamie Foxx is absolute fire in this, and if there's any sort of powers in the universe that have the ability to make sure that Jamie Foxx comes back and starts making movies, and is healthy and happy and wonderful again, let's make that happen. Thanks. Next movie I'm going to is we're in the spooky season, so we're going to go to the latest installment of the VHS series, VHS 85, streaming now on Shudder. I'm super late to the VHS series, but I'm a fan. I really like what the series does, and I really like that you could sit down and watch a movie that's a compilation of short films that if there's 5 of them, at least 2 are going to be absolutely 100% worth watching, and another one's going to be quirky and weird but fun, and then another 2 are going to be like you don't know. They might stink, they might actually be really good. You don't know. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't dislike any of the ones, any of the stories on this one. So we've got 5 five movies this time. We've got Mike P. Nelson doing a segment called No Wake. Mike P. Nelson has not really done a lot that would be like, oh yeah, of course. He did Wrong Turn in 2021. I've heard of it, I haven't seen it. So that's his most recent thing. The No Wake segment also happens to be the wraparound segment. But this was really good. Like the No Wake segment, it sets up the wraparound part of it really well. And it really makes you interested in what's going on. And then the second half of it, which is, makes it the wraparound, is really interesting. Separately, it unfortunately, as a whole segment, it doesn't do the first opening justice. I really would have liked to have understood what was going on in the first one a little bit more. It leaves a lot to the users ideas. The second segment, God of Death by Gigi Saul Guerrero. This one, it takes place in Mexico City at the time of the major earthquake that happened there on, I think, September 21st, 1985. And on it, I do want to say, like, for all of these segments, I think the only reason why they put this one in 1985 is because Gigi had this awesome idea for what happens if the earthquake actually opened up a portal to evil Mayan god. And it's really good. This segment scared the fucking shit out of me. Period. End of story. And that was before they actually got to the conceit of the segment. Like, if the segment had just been, here are people that were filming a news segment that were in the middle of an earthquake and now they're trying to get out of a building. That's all you would have had to do. And then there's sort of like they have to bring in the demon part of it. I probably would have liked it even more without the demon part. The next segment, I want to do these in order, but I don't remember exactly. I'm just going to say it was the Total Copy segment. It comes from David Bruckner. David Bruckner actually is a known director. He did Hellraiser, the Hellraiser reboot in 2022. He did The Night House in 2020. He was also one of the directors in the very first VHS segment. So this is this one is really good. The total copy is really good. All I could say is like the people in a lab are find like a sort of like an entity that can copy other things, and man, this one is just tight and good and creepy, like creepy, but and then it's funny, and this is, I would say that this is the one that you come for. Like if you just want to watch one segment, the total copy segment is the one that you come for, but then stay for the rest because they're also, honestly, again, these were all pretty good. The next segment is called Dream Kill, comes from director Scott Derrickson. Again, somebody that we've heard of, and this is the director of Doctors. Actually, he's the executive producer of the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I was gonna say he didn't direct that. What did he direct? Hold on, I'm looking at his. Oh, come on. I just want to see his directed stuff. Okay, he hasn't directed a lot, but so this he is oh, he did direct Black Phone. Okay, there it is. Yeah, that was his upcoming. He directed Black Phone. That's right. So this is this was an interesting segment. The interesting thing about this segment, Dream Kill, was just the conceit, the idea. I don't know, the execution is okay, but the idea is fantastic. And then the last one is comes from Natasha Kermani, and this one is from she directed Lucky in 2020. And she's directed several movies, nothing I've seen or heard, but this was the weird one. This was probably the weakest link for me, only because this basically should have taken place in like 17 or 2016. Everything that's going on is like straight out of 2015, 16, 17, except for the fact that there's a woman doing performance art, which makes it totally appropriate for 1985. It's still pretty interesting, but this is the, like, you know, if we're rating them, that's going to be the last one for me. Overall, this was a great installment. And I'm going back to 3 tacos plus guac, and I'm giving the extra guac for the total copy segment. I really, really liked that segment. And also because of how fucking scared I was from the God of Death segment. And that's what we're doing for VHS 1985. The next movie we're going to is Reptile. Reptile's now streaming on Netflix, came out a couple weeks ago. This one is coming from Grant Singer, a video director, like a music video director. So if you look at his IMDb page, he has a whole bunch of music videos, and that's it. This is an interesting movie for a music video director to jump in on. So it stars Benicio del Toro. Yes. You know, and Justin Timberlake. This movie is it's basically Benicio del Toro being a cop, investigating the murder of a local real estate agent. It's a husband and wife real estate agent duo. And there's really no reason to suspect that the husband did anything, but also there's no really reason to think he didn't do anything. And there's a lot of people involved at the time, you know, involved in their lives that, okay, it's a murder mystery. It's a really, really straightforward, this is just a murder mystery. Do we like Justin Timberlake character, or do we not? Do we, you know, who do we like? And to carry on the theme of, oh, guess who pops in? Alicia Silverstone pops in. And Alicia Silverstone, who popped in for a movie I did a few weeks back. Shoot, I don't remember the name of that one, but yeah, I mean, so it's really interesting to have Alicia Silverstone come in. She did Perpetrator. That's right, Perpetrator. If you recall, I really didn't like Perpetrator, but Reptile is good. I gotta say, none of the surprises are like super like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. It's you know, it's once like they start revealing things, it's like, okay, so this is where this is going. But it's Benicio del Toro. I mean, it's really just a question of, hey, do you like Benicio del Toro? If you say, obviously I like Benicio del Toro, then you gotta watch this movie because he's absolutely cooking you know, 10 out of 10, if not 11 out of 10. And if your mileage on Benicio del Toro is like, oh, he's okay, I don't know. If you like cop thrillers, then maybe this one's for you. If you don't, then maybe it's not. I love Benicio del Toro, so I'm going with Three Tacos. I would absolutely just, if somebody said to me, you know what, I just kind of want to watch something with Benicio del Toro on it that I haven't seen before, then I'd be like, okay, let's go do Reptile, because it's really good. The last one is really the reason why we're doing this. And Wes Anderson, who is, if you watch the show ever before, you were aware, is my favorite director, came out with 4 short movies based on stories from Ron Dahl and released them on Netflix. And this came out 3 weeks ago, maybe 4. And the 4 short movies is The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which is about 30 minutes long, and The Swan, The Rat Catcher, and Poison, all of which are listed as 17 minutes. But if you've ever seen anything on any streamer before, you know that there's like 5 minutes of credits afterwards, because they have to list all of the different language credits that were on there. So they're really about like 12 minutes long. And I gotta tell you, just okay, we're gonna attack all 4 of them. All right, but I loved this, and I not just because it's more Wes Anderson, because I definitely need more Wes Anderson in my life, but also because it's like peak Wes Anderson and peak Wes Anderson powers in some cases. So we'll start with The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, and this one stars Benedict Cumberbatch, and Dev Patel, and Ben Kingsley, and man, this is peak Wes Anderson, and the way he tells the story is and Ralph Fiennes, who throughout each of these stories is playing Roald Dahl, and the narrator, but is Roald Dahl. And the wonderful thing about The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar is that the entire short is told as though it's being read to you by a narrator, and the job of the narrator is handed off to different people. And so sometimes it's Roald Dahl being played by Ray Fiennes. Sometimes it's Benedict Cumberbatch playing Henry Sugar. And what will happen is he'll say, and he'll say his line, and so it'll be like, by Jove, I think he got it. That's the line. He's like, by Jove, I think he got it, I said. And it's great. I can't, it has to be seen to be believed how good this is, and how funny and genuinely warm this story is. And that's needed. I kind of wish I watched this one last, because the warmth of this story, and it's a great little story, and I loved this one so much. The next story I have listed is The Swan. So this one is narrated entirely by Orlando Bloom. He plays one of the characters. The thrust of the story is 3 kids, 2 of which are horrible bullies, one of which is being bullied, and Orlando Bloom plays the kid who was being bullied as an adult. And the 2 bullies are going around town shooting small birds, and this one breaks my heart. This short story, there's just an absolute stomach punch, and it's almost not long enough, because like you're still recovering from the stomach punch by the time that you get to the end, when you're supposed to feel uplifted in some way. And it's just not enough. It's so good, and it's so beautiful, but it's also, I needed a little bit more time and a little bit bigger uplift, but it's still good. Next is The Rat Catcher. This stars Ray Fiennes and Orlando Bloom and Dev Patel. And it's a story of Ray Fiennes, who plays a rat catcher in a small British town, and it's just a character study of this fucking crazy ass guy and two storekeepers who have a rat problem, and they need the rat catcher to come and help them, and he's just a maniac. Fun little story, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. It's just a fun little story. Memorable, maybe not. Fun, 100%. And then the last one. The last one is Poison. That and obviously these can be watched in any order, by the way, because they are not presented in one film. They're literally four separate films to watch within Netflix. And Poison is really important. I just the layers that are put into this story, where Benedict Cumberbatch is playing a guy living in India who believes that has woken up and found a poisonous snake who has gone into under his covers, and he is now being sort of held captive by a poisonous snake because he can't wake up, because he's going to wake up this snake and get bitten. Dev Patel plays a guy who finds him and then goes to get a doctor to help him out, the doctor being played by Sir Ben Kingsley. And the performances in this are A+. This story in this one is A+++, and it's important. That's all I'm going to say is this is if you just watch one because you want to kind of feel good and you want amazing Wes Anderson-iness, it's The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. If you want one and you just want the most important one, it's Poison. It's Wes Anderson. I'm giving it 5 tacos plus guac, just because it's amazing. It's just they're amazing. They really genuinely truly are amazing, and super fun and super Wes Anderson-y, and I love it. So please go watch these on Netflix so that you can actually say when the Oscars come out and the Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar is nominated for best short film, you can actually say you've actually seen one of the best short films, because nobody's ever seen those. Like nobody knows anything about these before they're nominated. But this time you will be able to say, "Hey, no, I know something about this one. Wes Anderson, I've seen it. Do it." Hey, that's it, man. I told you I was just gonna. It's Streamerpalooza. I hope that you've enjoyed hearing me blather on about 5 different, really different films. Or 4.4 films, depending on how you want to look at it. It's fine. Yeah, all of them good. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this, because you never know what you're going to get with streamers, but got lucky. There were 5. There's 5 good things to go out there and watch on streamers right now, people. So I hope you do it. Thanks for joining. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I will see you next week, when we will be joined by Sergio as we review Killers of a Flower Moon by a certain young director named Martin Scorsese. Hope to have you back here next week. Thanks, and bye.